Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, one and all. You have your ears tuned in to the Caps Locks and Chair Shots podcast, episode something, where we are going to be talking about whatever's going on in the wrestling world today. Joining me, as always, is the unfunny comedian. You know him on Twitter and on YouTube. You may have seen some of his gay pornographic reviews. This is Alex.
So I guess I have to find someone to get on the Kali Kiss Cam with. That'll be fun.
Yep, that's back, apparently. Also joining us is the muscle of the podcast, future MMA fighter and hopeful voice of the Philippines, the one, the only, the Jaime.
It's a stormy night here in the Philippines, but guess what? The show must go on.
Alright, and then there's my best friend, my arch nemesis, the man that knows everything about nothing and nothing about everything. He is the real Danny D, Dan Dorrit.
What's up, everybody?
Alright, let's jump right into what happened this week. Kind of a busy week with it being the every other week we have a WWE pay-per-view. And it was Battleground. Started off strong, am I wrong? Tag team match was good, right?
Yeah, pretty good.
Alright, well, you can guess who that came from. And it ended terribly, am I wrong?
No.
I'm just kidding. It ended horribly.
Between us seeing the New Day and the Usos hopefully end that saga, and something you want to say, Dan?
Rematch at SummerSlam.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah, well,
They have their rematch clause.
I was hoping just because I can't stand the Usos, but plus
Why not, Oos?
they're on some one day is H stuff, man. I mean, I would rather somebody else be there. I don't like the Usos. Call me crazy, don't like them. It bothers me that they refer to themselves by their last name and call themselves the same name. Does anybody else bothered by that at all?
No. It's just part of the gimmick. Doesn't bother me.
It's a show for kids. I think you're getting a bit nitpicky at this point.
I feel like there's more meaning to Oos too. Like, I'll do some research into that.
Goose literally means brother in Samoan. It's calling someone bro.
Oh, wow. You know, you learn something new every day. It's just like, yesterday I learned what 5150 meant for the first time. Yeah, I'm a little late to the game. Anyway, let's move on. What else from Battleground was important, Alex? What did you see that you thought was... I can't say good. I don't want to say bad. I'm just going to say important because yeah. What did you think?
Well, I mean, Kali did return, so there was that.
Uh-huh.
And, I guess Kevin Owens beat AJ Styles. That happened.
Yeah, let's talk about that ending. What the hell? Like, what happened there? It seemed like that match was going real strong and was really good, and then it just kind of ended.
Apparently, from what I've heard, they changed the finish to the match literally like halfway through the match, if not later. Like very late into the match.
I've seen that too. I've seen it that they changed the finish like late into the game.
Okay, so is this for AJ's DVD so they can get him a big win at SummerSlam?
Could be, or it could have been because they got word that Chris Jericho was going to be available for SummerSlam, and they wanted to have the title on Owens to have a program ready to go.
Yeah, they got to do something with him because they don't go back on tour till September. So
interesting. Jaime, what do you think?
Yeah, it's good to put Chris Jericho in the program, but Is he still gonna stay face, or is he gonna act as a heel against AJ? I know he's going to rival with Owens, but how about AJ? AJ's still in the picture.
That is true. It's going to be interesting. There's two things, really, the entire card we need to discuss. Nakamura defeated Corbin. Jaime, you were wrong. It was via disqualification. Did anybody really like that match at all?
Quiet.
No.
I didn't.
Quiet.
Even as a Corbin fan, I didn't.
I hated it.
I know you did, Dan. I know you did. Natty won the Fatal 5-Way Elimination match. And let me tell you something, that was different as well. Just the way the eliminations came, like 3 back-to-back-to-back like that. The whole Battleground card seemed a little...
Rushed?
Yes. Perfect word for it. I was going to say like a 12-year-old wrote it, and they realized, holy crap, I'm running out of time. Like that essay you wrote in high school, where you're just riding along and everything's going great, and you realize, holy shit, this is doing 5 minutes, so I gotta slap an ending on this. That seemed like what Battleground was in every match. Especially the Fatal 5-Way Elimination. A lot of people were shocked Natty won that, and I am. Anybody else?
No, I expected it.
Go ahead.
I kind of expected it, all just because she hadn't been in the title picture for a while. She's been around the block. She's definitely a company woman. She'll do anything that they ask. So I feel like she might actually be the one to take the belt off of the Glow chick. I'm blanking on her name.
Naomi. Yeah,
she might actually take the belt off of her, which I wouldn't mind seeing. I wouldn't mind letting them give Natty one last title run.
She had a farting gimmick.
Yeah.
What?
How can anyone take Natalya seriously when she had a farting gimmick?
There's so many bad gimmicks out there, though. Like
she is forever
you also
tainted.
hate women's wrestling, so you're the womanizer of the show.
The misogynist womanizer loves women, not hates them.
Yeah.
It's good to see that that Baltimore education system's working out real well for you, Dan. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about the flag match and all the glory that was Old Glory being waved by John Cena.
Another terrible finish.
I mean, he put Rusev through a table off of a platform and then stood as Rusev is laying there hurting, waving Old Glory on top of the steps in a picture that I'm going to get tattooed across my back.
Can we talk about how there were an insane amount of flag code violations?
Yeah.
They dropped the flag. I'm pretty sure Rusev walked on it at one point.
Yeah,
Can we talk about how Rusev didn't win that match, though? Like, that was another bad finish. Like, how does it take you more than 30 seconds?
Well, that's the thing that always amazed me. In these flag matches and this stuff on a pole match, you always see the guys fight one another first. I'm sorry, if it's me, and there's something hanging directly over my head that guy wants and that I want, I'm not going after John Cena. As soon as the bell rings, I'm turning around, reaching up and grabbing whatever it is, and I'm hightailing it to win that fucking match. And I just said we weren't going to cuss this week. Wow. Well, I blew that.
Take two.
No take twos. We don't edit this show. We are live. We are uncensored, and we are uncut and commercial free because we're on Real Sport. No ads, just sport. There's your shameless plug. Anyway, I loved the match. I thought it was fantastic. Seeing John Cena win again was great. In fact, I think we're going to see him win again this week. Am I wrong?
That match
Probably not.
That match is too close to call. It honestly is.
Well, I'm going to tell you when we get to SmackDown.
Nakamura is so, Cena's going to get booed so bad in this match.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not even going to be a let's go Cena sucks. It's just going to be Cena sucks. Boo.
Right, but
Yanaka's getting buried.
When we get to SmackDown, I'm going to tell you why Cena's going to win. 2 more matches to talk about. Sami Zayn defeated the Power of Love, thank God, and Mike Kanellis lost. I hated this match from bell to bell, but I love the fact that Mike Kanellis lost. Jaime, tell me about it.
Well, I just watched it because it's part of the card, but I wasn't really interested. Well, they had some good points, but, it's not the match of the night.
It was one of the worst matches of the night. And
if it isn't, it is the worst match of the night.
Yeah, alright, now let's go to the final match. Jinder Mahal, with the Singh brothers, with the Great Khali, with the Punjabi prison, with 1.3 billion people behind him, defeated Randy Orton to retain the WWE Championship. Alex, you brought it up. Why did they bring the Great Khali back?
I can only imagine so he can finish completely destroying his kneecaps.
Dan, were you entertained?
No, but I can tell you why they brought him back.
Elaborate.
He's not over. Great Khali's actually over in India. Jinder Mahal's not. They hate him. They're trying to find somebody to put him over. This isn't going the way the WWE expected. So they wanted to bring back an actual star to try to make him a star.
Now, who in today's day and age would have thought 10 years ago that the Great Khali would be brought in to save... Let me say that again. The Great Khali has been brought in to save the WWE. It doesn't
we truly
sound right.
are in the darkest of timelines.
It really doesn't sound right at all.
Sounds like a parallel universe rather than the one we live in.
Well, yeah, the darkest of timelines. Alex, you can explain that to Dan later on. Anyway, let's move on. Monday Night Raw. Anybody remember Raw? Because I'm struggling right now. I mean, we had Elias Samson defeat Finn Balor in what turned out to be a pretty solid match. Big Cass may have killed Enzo Amore. Nia Jax may have killed Emma.
Oh, Emma's still alive and fine.
Yeah, apparently.
In multiple ways.
Yeah, there you go, buddy. Jason Jordan thinks so, too. Bayley defeated Sasha Banks to become #1 contender. Speaking of Jason Jordan, he beat out the Star Maker Kurt Hawkins. The Revival defeated the Club. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins defeated The Miz, Curtis Axel, Bo Dallas, and Maurice in a 2 out of 3 handicap match.
You just said the #1 contenders for the tag titles, but at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
What, the
I
Shield?
saw that rumor.
Huh?
You talking about the Shield?
Yep.
Yeah.
Rollins and Ambrose against Sheamus and Cesaro. It makes sense, actually. They're light on. Give me 3 babyface tag teams on Raw right now. Can you even give me 2?
I can't even give you one.
I think the Club is, if not face already, they're turning face.
Okay, they might be turning face, but as of right now, there's only one that I can think of, and that's the Hardys.
Well, that's because they broke up the best tag team there was. They did. And the terrible thing about it is they had so much talent, and they can't teach that. I mean,
they were so over.
They were certified G's and bona fide studs, and they split them up.
Yeah, I'm getting Crime Time vibes from the Big Cass and Enzo split up. You remember that, when Crime Time split up? See how well that worked out for them?
So sad.
Here's the thing, Cass will be fine. The one I'm worried about is Enzo.
Yeah.
They need to ship him to 205 Live for a while.
No, honestly, I think...
Or make him a mouthpiece.
He needs to go to SmackDown.
They definitely do need to distance Enzo and Cass in some way.
Maybe he will go to SmackDown. Just for the simple fact that Who has SmackDown gotten in return for the newest member of Raw, Kurt Angle's son?
No.
There was no, true...
This is what they need to do. Trade Enzo for Dolph Ziggler. It's perfect.
Why?
Because Enzo can go be a mouthpiece, feud with James Ellsworth, continue the comedy thing, and run off with Carmella, making Ellsworth, finally, a sympathetic character, and then he can go off and do other things. Ziggler can come into Raw and have matches against Finn Balor, against Seth Rollins, rejuvenate his career, and steal the show once again, and maybe, just maybe, when Brock Lesnar leaves and Braun Strowman goes off and gets hurt because the way he wrestles, he's going to get hurt.
Again.
Dolph could be a world champion, because he's not going to get that on SmackDown.
Well, I'm as big as a Dolph Ziggler fan as you are, but he's just been buried so much.
Exactly, they need to stop.
It's going to be so hard for him to come back no matter what brand he's on.
Then rebrand him.
Well, if I may, I don't know if you guys have seen, but apparently there are plans to do another quote-unquote superstar shakeup after SummerSlam, and there are talks of moving people down to NXT.
Yep, Uncle Dave brought that up on Observer Radio.
If I had to guess, Dolph Ziggler will be going down to NXT.
Ooh, him and Bobby Roode's a pretty good shot. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's...
Roderick Strong.
Why not just say Cassius Ohno or something? Just say another person I could give couldn't care about.
Oh, no.
I wonder if it bothers him that Kevin Owens stole his gimmick.
It's gotta.
I mean,
he's still the knockout artist. Like, the gimmick really wasn't stolen. I mean,
it's the exact same gimmick that Cassius Ohno used.
I've never heard Kevin Owens call himself a knockout artist. Not once.
Prize fighter, go by the initials of KO. Yeah, it's the exact same gimmick.
Cassius Ohno does it better.
Cassius Ohno, well, my thing is, if they're going to call somebody the knockout artist and let them use the initials KO, why did they choose two fat people?
To be fair, Cassius Ohno was not fat when he first took the name.
He was not. Speaking of him really quick, since we're on that topic, I have heard that they are unhappy with him again because of his weight.
Shocking.
That was part of the reason why they let him go the first time.
Hold on. Now, I'm no lawyer or nothing, but isn't that some form of discrimination?
It's contractors.
I mean, if he can't live up to the performance end of it, then no, there's nothing against that. Like,
okay, alright, so say like Kevin Owens puts on another 50 pounds, but he still out-wrestles everybody on the roster, and he gets fired for putting on those extra 50 pounds. That would be discrimination, right?
Just, they're going to take him off TV. Going to ask for his release.
It would be discrimination, yes, if it weren't for the fact that they are independent contractors. So WWE can basically fire him for whatever reason, whenever they want.
Oh, anyway, Kevin Owens is never getting fired. Does anybody else have anything to say about Raw? Anything else?
That tag match was great. Well, the handicap match. I thought that was great. I thought they worked that very well.
It was alright. I liked what Curtis Axel put out on Twitter when he had a elbow to the back of Seth Rollins' head and said, "I'm in the main event where I belong." And has anybody else kind of caught on to the way that Curtis Axel is looking at the Intercontinental Championship and The Miz? That's going to be the feud to watch probably after WrestleMania.
Yeah, that'll put butts in seats.
Curtis Axel's a worker, dude. Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas both are workers. They both can work.
Plus, it would give The Miz so much fire as far as what to say on the mic, and then Axel can just be like, say what you want. I'm good at what I do. I'm better than you, and I'm going to beat you. And that's all that has to be said, and then they can go for 15, 20, 30 minutes, the pay-per-view immediately after WrestleMania when Axel turns on The Miz. I'm calling it. And it could be a really good match. I think that's entirely possible and something I would watch.
It'll go 5 minutes and it'll be on the pre-show.
No, it won't.
No. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is your Spoil Sport of the Week. The award goes to Alex, just for this week. Let's move on to SmackDown. And SmackDown, in my opinion, was about 5 letter grades better than Battleground. I mean, just in the first 15 minutes, it already blew away Battleground. Because we had the return of Chris Jericho and
Quiet.
the list. What do you keep saying quiet for? The crowd was not quiet.
I keep hitting you with Jericho's gimmick. When he does that, I love it.
Stupid idiot.
Okay.
It's my favorite thing when he goes quiet,
All right.
quiet, quiet, quiet.
For those of you that don't, just a little behind the scenes of what's going on, it's now 10 o'clock on the nose in the morning. I am half trying to watch Jerry Springer. I am half trying to watch you guys, and I'm trying to read the recaps that I wrote Tuesday night. So my attention's a little divided, and I'm not fully awake. So there's that.
10 o'clock.
And he's still ugly.
It's 7 o'clock here.
Oh, you poor thing. Aw. I'll buy you Twinknado on DVD, and you'll be okay. I'll give you another review to do.
Is that a real movie?
I don't know, but I saw they're making a Sharknado 6.
Oh, God, yes.
Ian Ziering, apparently, is going to be in a plane in a tornado with a chainsaw. That's what I saw.
Let's also cue in right now that Jaime has made the list of dummies, and he's getting ready to put somebody on it, and one can only guess who he's going to write down.
Oh, anyway. Jaime, you're a Jerichoholic.
Yeah.
Drink it in, man!
Were you shocked to see him come back? I know you're kind of a insider when it comes to some of them dirt sheets.
I didn't expect it, to be honest. I thought he was still on tour. I didn't really get the news or any backstage info on that, but I was really surprised and I was really happy I was happy that I didn't get any spoilers for it.
Yeah, that was a real rarity. We actually got shocked and nobody knew about it. Kind of the same thing they did with Khali, too. I didn't hear anybody mention the great Khali coming up.
Well, there
Nobody
was
just
an Instagram
nobody
post about
just mentioned it in the
15 minutes
chat.
before the show.
Okay, one at a time, you losers. Alex, what did you say?
There was an Instagram post where someone posted a picture of him in an airport about 15 minutes before the show. So I was spoiled a little bit.
To be fair, we saw a Twitter post during WrestleMania of the Hardys in an airport, and look what that happened there. That stuff you kind of got to take with a grain of salt.
That was another one that was actually kept kind of quiet. Apparently there was only like 4 people that knew about it that weren't in the WWE.
To be fair, you knew the Hardys were going to show up at WrestleMania.
Not with the way that the crowd reacted.
And
everybody thought they were going to show up the Raw after.
To be fair, there were several people that were at that party the Hardys threw that said, hey, black limousines just pulled up. Hey, there's WWE guys inside driving the limousines. Hey, I think they're going to WrestleMania. Literally all over Twitter.
I mean, you knew for a month in advance, it was pretty obvious, they were going to do their short little thing in Ring of Honor, and then they were going to go to the WWE.
Well, to be fair, now, speaking on the other side of this argument, the Monday after WrestleMania is often a place where big storylines are set for the entire year and big returns happen. It could have been possible they weren't going to debut at WrestleMania, but the day after.
Sure.
Here's the thing, right? We were in the stadium. The stadium was almost full as soon as the place opened, which it opened at 3 o'clock. The pre-show didn't start till 6? Right?
Yeah.
The pre-show didn't 5 or 6, right? So you're talking 2 or 3. So all the stuff that you're talking about on Twitter, reception sucked in there. So everybody inside that stadium, that was a genuine reaction when they came out. No, I honestly didn't know, and as you guys know, I'm always on Twitter. I'm always looking for that kind of stuff.
Speaking of things sucking at WrestleMania, I'm still waiting for my WrestleMania shirt, Dan. I'm still waiting.
WWEshop.com.
I already bought some, actually. RKO long sleeve t-shirt, $7.99. WrestleMania sunglasses and a Sting mask because I'm probably going to meet Sting 2.5 weeks from now, so pretty stoked. Anyway, back to SmackDown. We're going to get a number 1 contender next week for Jinder to face at SummerSlam. We're also going to get, I believe there's going to be another number one contender match too. Is that right? Besides the WWE next week?
We have a title match next week. U.S. title.
That's what I'm thinking of. Who's in that match there, Danny?
KO and AJ Styles.
Are they missing the boat? Wait a second. Hold on. I thought AJ won the U.S. Championship.
Right, and KO's invoking his rematch clause next week.
Sorry, like I said, I'm fried and not in
You have that the wrong way around. KO won the title, and AJ's invoking his rematch.
No. AJ just won the title on Thursday.
Yeah, he won it back.
Tuesday. He won the title on Tuesday.
Oh,
won it back.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. Sorry.
It's been flip-flopped, and I feel like it's going to keep getting flip-flopped until SummerSlam.
Okay, so since we're talking about it, does that diminish the importance of the United States Championship?
No, because these two can go. Not at all.
I mean, what?
Being flip-flopped between, like, Sin Cara and...
Why you gotta rip on Sin Cara, man? Why?
Sin Cara's a great worker, but he's just been a jobber. Okay, fine.
Hold on. Which Sin Cara are we talking about here?
The original Sin Cara.
Valid point. No, wait, the original Sin Cara wasn't great. Because he was the one that literally 5 seconds into the match jumped to the outside, landed wrong, waited for the referee, and stopped the match with Alberto Del Rio after all of 15 seconds because he sprained his wrist.
Okay, here. So you guys know how much I like Mike Kanellis, excuse me. But
unfortunately,
it doesn't really seem like you guys really care for him as much as I do. So if this title's being flip-flopped between Aiden English and Mike Kanellis, it's going to diminish the belt. But since it's going between probably two of the best workers in the business right now, I mean, Kevin Owens did call himself elite, wink wink.
Okay. Here's the next question. Next week, Tuesday, SmackDown, this match is probably... Well, it ain't going to be in the main event, but it'll be in that first hour main event thing. Will we see Chris Jericho interfere? Will we see him interfere?
No.
Setting up a match between either him and AJ or him and Kevin Owens at SummerSlam. It's logical. It makes wrestling
logical,
sense.
Yes, but no, I don't think so. What I would actually like to see them do with Jericho is they put him in a tag team with somebody, and then he makes that chase for the tag belts up until the point that he leaves.
He won't be sticking around after SummerSlam, I'll bet you anything, so this is going to be just like a one and done.
Who would he... I agree with you, Alex, I do. Who would he be in a tag team with?
Put him with Ty. Let him build somebody up. Let him turn on Ty. Let Ty get more babyface heat.
I don't think those two characters are compatible.
No.
Yeah, it's not.
The Ayatollah of Rock and Rolla and the Perfect 10, granted, Ty's a baby... They're both baby faces right now, but if they were to turn both of them heel, that would be one hell of a tag.
You're missing some great comedy that could take place here. Let me paint you a picture, okay? Cena beats Nakamura next week. It's pretty expected, and I'll tell you why here in a second. So Nakamura's floating out there. Put him with Jericho, the rock star of the WWE, with a bona fide rock star. You could have skits until Jericho leaves, showing Nakamura how to be an actual rock star. It would let Nakamura be funny, it would let Jericho be funny, and then somebody could come in and be like, what the hell is going on here? You just made the list. Something like that. It would work everything in there. Or do the same thing with Aiden English. Play on Jericho's musical career. I think it'd be funny as shit. Am I wrong?
Or you can let him feud with Mike Kanellis. Let him grill the couple.
I imagine there would be a lot of stupid idiots.
That would actually be great. That would work well. I would like that.
Of course you would. Of course you would.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike, Maria, and Jericho can all spit straight fire on that mic.
If there's one phrase that makes me hate my own generation with a fiery passion, it's spitting fire. Or saying something is fire. Or anything else. It is dumb.
I actually said spit straight fire. If you didn't notice, I made that wordplay on Becky Lynch.
I don't.
That we need to talk about.
No. Nope. We're getting there in a second. I've been teasing the Cena thing long enough. This is why John Cena is going to win and go to SummerSlam and beat Jinder Mahal. Has anybody seen the press releases for 2K18 WWE video game? About
there's a special edition.
The Premier package that lets you get all of the Cena stuff, a commemorative plaque, downloadable characters, Cena enough, chants, everything else. Why? Oh, why would they put all of that stuff out promoting one person and not give him the main event? They did the same thing with Seth Rollins last year, and the year before that, and the year before that, and the year before that. They brought in Sting and Goldberg to promote this video game. They gave Goldberg a Universal title run to promote this video game. John Cena's not.
What do you mean they gave it to him? He earned that.
In the same way.
He beat one guy.
Yeah, okay. In the same way that somebody earns a welfare check.
It's a little different.
Not really.
I mean, he did end up having to take bumps at some point, right?
It could be argued that people on welfare take bumps too. Not going to get into that. I really don't want to get yelled at. Now, you want to talk about Becky Lynch, so talk about Becky Lynch.
Isn't she just so cute?
She is adorable. And by adorable, I mean I would love to have children with her. But go on, Dan.
I don't know. I just wanted to bring her up. Just felt like bringing her up, that's all. I don't really have anything to say. The tag match she was in was good.
Okay. Yeah, her...
Speaking of women's tags, they've been doing a lot of women's tags. If they were to ever combine the brands again...
No.
Why not?
I know where you're going, and no.
Why not?
God-awful no. Because there is a grand total of 10 women. Total. In both divisions.
No, there's not.
There's like
12?
15, maybe.
There's like 15 to 20, and they're going to be signing a lot more women after the Mae Young Classic.
Okay.
So they're going to have to call more up. So you're talking about you're probably getting ready to add Peyton Royce, Billie Kay, and Asuka all to the main roster.
All right.
Because the Iconic Duo has been down there for a while, and they need to be brought up. They can work.
Yeah, they're...
Then this is what you do.
Over.
Then this is what you do. You cancel 205 Live, and you give that time slot to a new women's wrestling show. You take them off Raw, you take them off SmackDown, maybe leave them on Raw. You take them off of SmackDown, you put them on that women's wrestling show, you maybe put it before 205 Live, have it taped after Raw, or even before Raw. You have it taped before Raw, put it on before 205 Live, you let it just be women's wrestling, and that's it. And then the cruiserweights come on after. I'm just saying, that could possibly work.
I mean, I'm just saying, though, like, it's an idea. It's an idea for them to have a women's tag title. Jaime, how do you feel? What do you think?
Women's tag? I'm not really sure yet. Not unless you you give them their own show. They can have a women's tag title, but...
Well, I was talking about if they were to combine the brands again. Like, if the brands were to be combined. Because with this Superstar shakeup, I feel like the product is stale already. So they need to do another shakeup, or they need to just combine both brands again.
Well, it's going to be too much titles, but too little time.
Too many? I don't think there's too many titles. You look at New Japan, and they have 2 sets of tag titles, 2 heavyweight champions, a U.S. champion, an IC.
Yeah.
Never belts.
Anyway, we are now at our halfway point of the show. At this time, we normally put pause in the wrestling talk, where we self-promote each other and ourselves to make ourselves feel a lot better about those of you who don't listen and don't know who we are. Jaime, what do you got going on for Real Sport? And give out your Twitter handle, bud.
Okay, so as usual, I do the previews for all the WWE shows at the wrestling section for RealSport101.com. And I also do the recaps for NXT and 205 Live. And I'm going to write a piece about NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3 probably going to be Drew McIntyre's send-off match. Send-off to the main roster.
Oh, wow. There you go. Hey, stay tuned for that. I will definitely be checking that out. Alex, the unfunny comedian. What are you doing?
Well, right now I'm working on a series of shorter videos where I'll review every single Insane Clown Posse album ever.
What was the one where they had the dating game? The song called The Dating Game.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember which album that was on. I'm not entirely sure.
Cause that was magical. Anything else you got going on besides, just being you?
Nah, not really.
Do you want a few minutes to talk about our Commander-in-Chief?
No, I'm good. Lord President Trump will do as he wishes, I suppose.
Okay. Alright, well, you had your chance. Danny boy. How you doing today, Dan? Yeah, that's about right. What do you got going on? What are you doing? How are you boring the people today?
I don't really have anything going on. Just closed 3 more deals in real estate.
Screwing more people out of money. Very nice.
Probably gonna have some stuff coming up to the site soon. If you guys have ideas for me, shoot them to me on Twitter at RealDDirect. I'm always open to getting new ideas.
Alright, and ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to buy Dan a Red Bull so he has some energy and not boring as hell, you can also find him on Twitter at whatever his Twitter handle he just said was, so you can donate to him and his energy fund, because he is boring the crap out of me right now.
You can Venmo me money.
There you go.
At DDirect. Venmo me money.
There you go. Now, as for me, you can find me in about 6 different sections on Real Sport, including college football, hockey, baseball, NFL, wrestling, and some other stuff that may be coming down the pike.
So I also just got really big news from our boss at Real Sport. September 30th, Rosemary will be in Maryland, and I am most likely going to be doing a live interview with her. So there's your energy.
Now, the question is, how much of this interview will we be able to use on our podcast? We'll talk about that after the final bell rings. Before I was so rudely interrupted, Dan...
I'm sorry.
I just completely lost. Oh, you can look for all the stuff coming out. We got huge trading deadline stuff coming on in the MLB. We also got NFL season previews. You can find some college football quizzes, including those on the University of Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. Still alive and well in the Mountain West. You can find that all on the Real Sport website. And you can also stay tuned to the Sports Du Jour podcast. Me, myself, and I, along with Dan Dorrit and Rob Parks, we're going to a new night. We're going to a longer time. And we're going to be talking about just about everything. We're going to be recording that tomorrow night. We're going to be moving to Monday nights starting at the beginning of September. So stay tuned for that. That is the Sports Du Jour podcast, found right here on Real Sport and on SoundCloud. Also, we are trying to move over to iTunes, but someone does not want to help me, Dan. Like they said they were going to, Dan. So I'm calling you out.
We will be on
Dan.
iTunes. We will be on iTunes starting next week. This episode will not. Wow. This episode might be on iTunes, but if not this episode, the following episode will be on iTunes.
Okay.
And that is a fact, so you can face it.
All right. Now, we got to talk about the bastardized brother of the WWE, and that, of course, is Impact. GFW's flagship show, Impact Wrestling, recapping results. You can find that on Real Sport. Let's talk about what happened last night. Dan, I know this since you're apparently going to be interviewing her. Rosemary Sienna, last knockout standing, and go.
Such an amazing match. Like, God, them two just might be one of the best. Probably is the best women's feud in wrestling right now.
You think?
For any show. Yeah, I mean, both of them can work. They both have great characters. And it's just, it's something that they can just go. Like, I feel like it'd be hard for anybody to do it, but I feel like if any two women in the business right now could do it, they could go for hours. I would watch all of it. The ring psychology is great. The wrestling itself is great. There's just so much that those two women can do that they are almost the standard for the business when it comes to any type of women's wrestling. And I know that says a lot because Charlotte is amazing. But it's just my thought. I don't know. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree, but...
Okay, I completely couldn't disagree more. But I'm going to let somebody else talk. Alex, you hate women. What did you think of the last Knockout Standing match?
It was pretty good. It was, it was better than something you'll see on WWE, I think, but it could have been better.
Well, I don't think you're going to see anything like that on the WWE. Jaime, what were your thoughts about this match?
It could have been better, yes, I agree with you guys, but I also question the presence of KM. Doesn't it make Sienna look weak that she needs a huge guy beside her?
But isn't that heel wrestling 101? To make the champion look a little less strong by having somebody come out to help them in every match they do, especially in the no disqualification match.
But you could also have arrogant dominance.
Yeah, but...
a dominant girl who's arrogant.
But that would, if she would have come out like that would have completely buried Rosemary.
I agree with you. Maybe they put him there to make Rosemary look a little stronger. Yeah.
Not to mention it being Impact. He did get hit with Tajiri's Green Mist. It's not completely out of the realm of possibility. We could see a blind KM coming out for a few weeks. Oh, yeah. Oh, you think he's a dick now? Just wait till he's blind. Speaking of terrible ideas, there were two that just made me want to throw something through my TV. The first one, Joseph Park, Grado, Laurel Van Ness. I can't hate this enough. Dan, explain this to me.
What do you mean? That is the new power of love right there.
What is this?
It's the new power of love. Grado and Laurel Van Ness. Let's just keep in mind that Ed has bitched at me before eating and drinking on this show, and he is stuffing his face right now for all of our viewers.
What is that, tapioca pudding?
Fried noodles and eggs.
Ugh.
Breakfast of champions. Anyway. No, Dan, it's terrible. It's so just unbelievably...
It is terrible. But the way I want a woman to look at me, the way that Laurel Van Ness looks at Grado.
Oh, you mean the way that your mom looks at me? Got it. Very good. Alright, the other thing that made me hate Impact last week, Bruce Pritchard. It doesn't make any sense to me. For one, they did 3 different segments at Slammiversary about how inept he is, about how he's not there, and we haven't heard anything about it since. For 2, Trevor Lee has literally just physically taken the X Division title, didn't win it in a match, and just still has it. Bruce Pritchard has been face-to-face with Trevor Lee 3 different times, has not rectified the situation, and somehow blames the rightful X Division champion Sanjay Dutt by throwing him out the building not once, but thrice.
Thrice?
That means 3 times for you uneducated Maryland folk.
Let's keep in mind, this isn't the first time that Impact titles have just left the hands of the rightful owners. We had Decay do that before.
Yeah, I'm trying to give Impact a fresh start, being that Anthem has them and the GFW merged with them and this, that, and the third. I'm trying to give them a fresh start, so I'm trying to kind of take a selective view of Impact history.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna let you go on your Pritchard rant because I know you want to, but remember, don't go too deep into the rabbit hole. I just wanted to remind you of that.
That's why I kind of don't want to do it. But
okay, let's move on.
It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense because it's straight up Russo booking.
Okay, another thing. There are two other guys that are as high as Bruce Pritchard is in Impact storyline-wise, correct? You got Dutch Mantel and I can't remember what the third guy's name. Why is Bruce Pritchard the face of it when clearly Dutch Mantel is better looking? Why don't the two of them tell Pritchard, hey, fix this, if he's going to be the on-face voice of everything? Why isn't somebody just said, hey, that's freaking theft, give it back? This is almost as farcical as Roman Reigns not being charged with a felony for trying to kill Braun Strowman in the back of an ambulance. And I'm done. Anybody else share my opinion?
No, I mean, you're completely right.
I feel like we see that storyline though, like every so often, like with the title going missing. It's not that big of a deal. He's still on the show.
I mean, I full well expect next Thursday that we are going to see Bruce Pritchard come out and be like, well, since Sanjay Dutt's not a real X Division champion, we're just going to hold the title up in abeyance and let Trevor Lee and Sanjay Dutt have a match for it. So, Sanjay Dutt's no longer the champion. Like, I full well expect that to be the next logical step for this.
No, the next logical step is for them just go, no, Trevor Lee's the champion now.
It hurts my head to think about.
They should just have a match.
It really hurts my head
That would be the logical, reasonable conclusion to the story, but when has TNA ever done anything logical or reasonable?
Yeah.
GFW. But
yeah, it's GFW.
It'll stop being TNA when they stop acting like TNA.
Okay.
So, one Dutch Mantel news. Apparently, a former WWE World Champion is going to be doing some work for them, according to Dutch Mantel.
Is it We the People? Is it my guy?
It is.
I've also heard Rey Mysterio, so...
They did mention him.
In talks with both. The WWE really wants to sign him, but apparently Mr. 5150 himself is acting as Rey's manager right now when it comes to contract negotiations.
Conan?
Yes.
Really?
And it has been said that Vince McMahon does not want to deal with Conan, so if he doesn't speak directly to Rey or someone else, he's just going to tell Rey to kiss his ass, essentially. Which I don't want to see because this is probably Rey's last run no matter what company he goes with. He'll do some independent bookings here and there and stuff like that, but I really think he should finish where he started.
He started in WCW, so...
He started in ECW.
Right.
Before WCW.
He should finish with the biggest company in the world.
So, well,
that's what I'm saying.
I thought you told me last week the biggest company in the world was New Japan Pro Wrestling.
No, I told you the second biggest company in the world.
I think you're giving me a bait and switch there. Honestly, I'd love to see him in Impact more than I would the WWE. In the WWE, he's going to be a Hardy-esque gimmick where it's nostalgia for nostalgia's sake, and when it wears off, he's going to ride off into the sunset. He's not going to win a world title there. He's going to be back for 5 or 6 more matches, and that'll be about it.
I think he wins a title there because they are looking for that star in the Latin American community.
No,
They're talking about doing another tournament, and it's supposed to be like a Latin American tournament.
Have we heard?
Take him in to boost 205 Live.
There's an idea, Jaime. Have we heard anything about John Morrison?
Yeah, he signed with GFW apparently. He's doing.
Yeah, he and Taya Valkyrie, his girlfriend or fiance.
What happened? I thought Melina was his fiance. What happened there?
I think he got tired of being cheated on.
Very well. All right, let's talk about other stuff that happened on Impact. Drago was added to the signature of Impact at the beginning of the show. Buddy Dyer, the mayor of Orlando, was a special guest ring announcer for the first match and was god-awful. There is a fatter guy with a fatter mustache who is a standby wrestler. I enjoyed it. The 30 seconds of on-screen time the guy had, but he kind of looked like the guy that would try to sell you used tires at an Italian restaurant because he knows a guy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Ethan Carter III has a new move called the ECD, the Ethan Carter Driver, which wasn't terrible. And Moose's logo, correct me if I'm wrong here, and Dan, I think you may be the only one that knows what I'm talking about. Moose's logo looks like the Milwaukee Bucks logo got rabies.
You say it like that, I see it.
I mean, I thought it when it started, but I was like, I'm not going to say anything because I'm just going to give Moose a chance. I never knew who Moose was, and now that I've given Moose a chance and he's failed, it's just terrible.
You want to know what else? So Moose has a T-shirt on ProWrestlerTees.com.
Mm-hmm.
It's the McDonald's M, and it says, "I'm loving it, Moose, Moose, Moose."
Oh my God!
How has he not gotten sued?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's blatant. Like, wow.
Here's the thing, though. Like, do you know how many? Like, just go on the site one day and just look. Jeff Cobb has a shirt. I actually have the shirt. It says Mr. Athletic, and it looks like the Avengers logo, and it says Jeff Cobb above it. He also has another one. It says Moms Choose Jeff with the Jif logo, basically. Like, I mean, all the independent guys like do that type of stuff. So
I was afraid for a second you were going to say the Jizz logo.
Is there a logo for Jizz?
Well, you never saw the AJ Styles Jizz shirt then.
Speaking of Jeff Cobb, do you know that he has Filipino blood in him as well? From what I heard.
I did not know that. Good transition. Go from Jizz to Jeff.
I was gonna.
They both start with J.
I was gonna make a Filipino blood joke about sex, but I'm just too tired. So it's there. Just maybe next week. Anyway, we're getting close to the end of the show. We haven't covered two things we needed to cover. We're going to do the 6 through 10 on the top 50 wrestlers next week since we won't have a pay-per-view to cover. Dan, take 5 minutes. What's going on indie world that nobody cares?
So, not just the indie world. I kind of want to run this down, and we're going to dive back into this later on over the course of the next few weeks. Starting with August 11th, we have a bunch of shows coming up for about a 2-week period. We have Evolve, which is here in Baltimore, and then we have, on the 12th, we have the Evolve show in New York. Progress Wrestling is going to be in New York that day as well. So if you guys are anywhere in that area, I'd recommend going to both those shows. They're held in the same arena. You can get into both of them for about $80. And we also have Leo Rush's last indie match, which will be here in Baltimore at MCW. 14th, 15th, and 16th, we have the go-home shows for Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. August 17th, we are doing, GFW is going to be doing Destination X live on Pop. So if you guys want to catch some live wrestling, the pay-per-view was great, Slammiversary, so let's hope they set that one up the way they did Slammiversary, and you guys can watch some great wrestling. ROH War of the Worlds is that weekend. I believe Friday is going to be live. Saturday, you got TakeOver. That's the 19th. The 20th, we got SummerSlam, which we will be doing a 2-hour show for SummerSlam and everything leading up that weekend. And then obviously the 21st and 22nd, we have our Raw and our SmackDown live shows coming up following that. So wrestling here is going to be kind of slow for the next about week and a half or so. But then it's really ramping up. You know, you can check out all this stuff on a bunch of different stuff. You can check it out on Fight TV, FloSlam, obviously your regular scheduled cable providers. But something definitely to look forward to.
And the WWE Network, which you can find on the internet for only $9.95.
Michael.
That's right.
We have fun on Friday nights.
We're also going to do one new segment. It's going to be the Line of the Week. And this week it came from the Battleground pay-per-view, I believe. Jerry the King Lawler. Love is grand, but divorce is $100,000. thought it fit perfect, giving Mr. Lawler's history with the matrimonial arts.
I love that Lawler's gimmick at this point has essentially become old guy who's gotten divorced a lot. That's so amazing to me.
Yeah. Oh, apparently, Mr. Lawler is also opening up his own franchise restaurant of barbecue stands. Kane is up in the polls to win the Knox County mayoral position, and still nobody cares about half of what's going on at Raw and 3/4 of what's going on in SmackDown, judging by crowd reaction from Monday and Tuesday. Go on?
So what happens if Kane wins the election? Do we have to start calling him Citizen Kane?
No. Mayor Kane, maybe? I don't know. My thing is, if there are going to be debates about the Knox County mayoral spot before the actual voting happens in September, can it be done Inferno style? Where after maybe the podiums are on fire, maybe the microphones are on fire, maybe after every point that is made by a candidate, flames shoot up from the ground. I don't know.
Look, I mean, Donald Trump is president and Dwayne Johnson is running for president in the next election. Anything's anything's go now.
I mean, let's think about this for a second. WWE Hall of Famer is in the White House. He could be running against another WWE Hall of Famer. Soon to be. Is The Rock in the Hall of Fame?
Kanye West.
And Kanye. 2020 is going to be amazing.
Hi, man. I think I'm coming to live with you.
Yeah.
No, you see, by 2020, hopefully, marijuana is going to be legal in the state of Ohio. And I'm just not going to be here, guys. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be in another stratosphere.
Isn't it already legal in Ohio?
Medicinally for certain cases. It isn't fully legal everywhere yet.
I seem to recall them legalizing it recreationally, but I must have misremembered.
You misremembered. Either way, I'm not going to be here. I'm letting you guys know if this podcast continues. And there's a pretty good shot that, given the boredom that's going on in the 4 of our lives, it's going to continue. I'm going to get higher and higher to the point where I may just try to smoke myself into a coma. So,
See, you and I, we have the same idea right now.
Oh, Alex, we have none of the same ideas, sir. We have none of the same ideas, and I think you know that. Anyway...
Alex is talking about smoking poles, and you're talking about smoking weed. We definitely got to go into the censored section after that comment.
I think we're just going to call this one over, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to the Caps, Locks, and Chair Shots podcast. Whatever episode we're on, I think it's 17. We broke down Battleground this week. We talked about Impact a little bit. We discussed various things that have no business being on a wrestling podcast. Tune in next week, where it'll be a slower week, so we're going to cover 6 through 10 on the top 50 wrestlers of all time. We're going to hear Dan praise more indie wrestling. Jaime may lose his mind, and Alex, well, he's Alex. We expect him to like women a little bit more next week. Anyway, for all of us here at the Caps, Locks, and Chair Shots podcast, to all of you listening, we'd like to say thank you. And as always, if you're not down with us, the real Dan Dorrit has 2 words for you.
Keep listening.